read it or skip it. Welcome, Deep Diver. Today, we're taking a journey into the brutal, brilliant, and ultimately, soul-crushing origins of one of Panem's most iconic figures, Haymitch Abernathy.
Haymitch, yeah. Everyone knows him as Katniss and Peeta's mentor. You know, the one who's always kind of drunk.
Exactly. But what made him that way? What truly forged the man who eventually helped ignite a rebellion?
That's what we're digging into.
We're diving deep into the story revealed in Sunrise on the Reaping, uncovering the honestly astonishing and tragic details of his own Hunger Games, the 50th.
Right, the Second Quarter Quell. And it's a story that just lays bare the Capitol's systemic cruelty. It shows how this young man's spirit was, well, almost broken.
Almost, yeah.
But at the same time, how this slow burn of defiance started inside him. We'll explore his shocking reaping, his strategic and brutal journey through the arena.
And the devastating, really calculated cost of his victory.
Get ready for some serious aha moments. We're connecting the dots, and it really offers a whole new way to look at the entire Hunger Games saga.
So let's unpack this. From his humble, kind of challenging start in District 12, right up to the very seas of the rebellion we see bloom later. Okay, so our deep dive into Haymitch's story starts on his 16th birthday, which, tragically, is also Reaping Day in Panem.
Talk about bad timing.
Right. So picture it. District 12. Survival's a daily struggle. We know that. Haymitch lives with his mom and his little brother, Sid, who's 10.
Just a kid.
Yeah. And Haymitch is supporting them doing odd jobs, even some risky bootlegging on the side.
Yeah.
Life is hard, obviously, under the capital sun.
But for Haymitch, at this point, it's surprisingly not so bad, as the text says.
Which is interesting.
And that little bit of comfort, that small slice of normal life, it's deeply tied to Lenore Dove, his love interest.
Lenore Dove.
And what's really fascinating here, she isn't just any girl from 12. She's one of the Covey.
The Covey, like Lucy Gray's family.
Exactly. That free-spirited, musical, traveling family. So this connection puts Haymitch right in the lineage of Lucy Gray Baird, linking his own pain to that much earlier, also incredibly tragic, capital story.
Wow. It just grounds his origins in this deep, twisted history of Panem, showing how the capital's grip, well, it never really loosened, did it?
Not at all.
And this isn't just any Reaping Day either. It's the Second Quarter Quell.
Right, the big one.
The capital, in its, infinite cruelty, decides to double the tribute count. So 48 kids instead of 24. 2 boys, 2 girls from each district.
Just barbaric.
And Haymitch, because he took Tesserae those extra food rations for his family, his name is in that reaping ball 20 times.
20 times. He's holding his breath, you can imagine. And initially, he's not reaped.
Oh man, the relief. Just for a second, even with, Panem's representative Drusilla Sickle there, and a young Capitol cameraman named Plutarch Heavensby watching it all.
Plutarch's there already. Interesting.
Yep, but then the twist. The shocking turn that really seals Haymitch's fate.
Yeah, this is rough. One of the boys chosen from 12 makes a run for it, a desperate break.
And he's just killed on sight.
Horrifying. And in the middle of that chaos, Lenore Dove steps forward. She tries to give the boy's grieving family just a moment, to say goodbye.
A brave human thing to do.
Totally. And Haymitch instinctively jumps in to shield her, to protect her from the peacekeepers.
And Drusilla Sickle, the rep, she sees this. She's enraged by this defiance, probably because she can't show that on live TV. She needs another boy.
So as direct punishment for Haymitch just trying to protect Lenore, she reaps him right there on the spot.
Just like that, his small bit of normal life, gone. Ripped away just for trying to protect someone he loved.
Unbelievable cruelty.
And so, Haymitch is thrust into the games. He's joined by his fellow District 12 tributes. Wyatt, a boy from a family of bookies.
Okay.
Maisley, who's described as the town's mean girl. Her family owns the candy shop.
Maisley Donner, we know that name.
Exactly. And Luella, his lifelong friend. Before he goes, Lenore gives him this symbolic token, a flint striker. It's shaped like a snake and a songbird looking at each other.
A simple tool to start a fire, something he hopes will see him through.
Yeah.
So they arrive in the capital, and as you'd expect, the District 12 tributes are just dismissed immediately.
Seen as long shots, expendable.
Yeah.
Haymitch knows his own chances are pretty slim.
Right. So his first quiet act of rebellion isn't even about winning. It's just about protecting Luella, his friend.
Trying to hold on to some shred of humanity, some purpose in this completely dehumanizing process.
Exactly.
But this is where things take an absolutely gut-wrenching turn. It really sets the tone for Haymitch's whole experience. During the tribute parade,
Oh, the parade.
a chariot horse spooks. Haymitch's chariot crashes, and Luella is thrown just violently onto the pavement, hits her head
And she dies. Instantly.
instantly. And the Capitol crowd, in their grotesque spectacle, they react with this perverse delight to Haymitch's absolute rage.
It's disgusting. He spits at them, antagonizes the audience,
Right.
knowing full well the footage will be edited later. No one will see his raw fury.
Right. He knows the game already.
He does. Already jaded, already furious with the Capitol's cruelty. And in this moment of defiance, something that will echo for years, he picks up Luella's lifeless body,
Oh, God.
rides the chariot all the way to where President Snow is waiting, lays her body right at Snow's feet,
Wow.
and then slowly, deliberately claps.
Just claps.
It's a performance, maybe, but it's more than that. It's a crystal clear, chilling message to Snow. This is your fault, and I refuse to be broken silently.
That scene is absolutely pivotal, isn't it? To understanding the Haymitch we know later, his contempt for the Capitol.
Completely. And because District 12's past tributes have all died, including Lucy Gray, remember, the victor who vanished, they get assigned new mentors.
And here's where we see some really surprising connections to the main trilogy.
Yeah, this is cool. They get Mads, a former District 4 winner. You might remember him from Catching Fire.
Finnick's mentor. No way.
Well, a mentor from 4. And even more surprisingly, Wires, last year's victor from District 3.
Wires. Tick-tock.
Yeah.
That Wires.
That Wires. She plays a huge role later, obviously. It's just fascinating how these connections start forming Haymitch's initial network in the Capitol. It hints at this wider, unseen struggle already happening.
Yeah, under the surface. So, training begins. The careers, predictably, they stick together.
Of course.
But then, this young, incredibly bright boy from District 12, Ampert, approaches Haymitch. He has an idea, a non-career alliance.
Okay. Strength in numbers.
They actually call themselves the Newcomers. Ampert believes they can work together, and Haymitch, maybe seeing something worth protecting again, agrees. He, Wyatt, and Maisley form this unlikely group.
And Haymitch sort of steps into that protective role again.
Seems like it's his instinct.
And Ampert, he holds a really crucial connection. His dad is BT.
BT.
Yeah.
Seriously, Volts.
Yes, the BT who becomes so vital to the rebellion later. He's already an instructor in the training arena then.
Wow.
And we learn BT had crossed the Capitol somehow. But because he's so important for Panem's technology, they couldn't just kill him.
So what do?
They reaped his son, Ampert, as punishment, forcing BT to watch his own son die in the games.
That is evil. Just pure evil.
It really is. And this is why BT covertly teaches Haymitch how to make a battery from a potato, just for light. It's this small, dangerous act of shared defiance, planting seeds of rebellion through knowledge.
Okay, so this shared rage, this hidden defiance, it sparks something in Haymitch. He starts pushing BT, asking how he can really defy the Capitol, how he can paint his own poster, as he puts it.
Right. And eventually, inspired by how Wires cleverly figured out her arena to win, he asks BT how he can break the arena.
Bold move.
Very. And BT trusts him. He brings him into this audacious plan: blow up a massive water tank hidden under the arena, try to flood it, stop the games.
Whoa, how?
Haymitch realizes the tributes tokens, the things they're allowed to bring in, they contain parts of the explosives needed.
Clever, but dangerous.
Extremely. And this leads to a truly chilling meeting. Haymitch gets unexpectedly brought directly to President Snow.
Snow himself.
At Plutarch Heavensby's house, no less. Snow basically expresses his displeasure with Haymitch's defiance. Haymitch notices the parade organizer, the one responsible for Luella's death. He's been poisoned.
Snow's work, no doubt.
Seems likely. Snow implies that as long as Haymitch dies in the arena, his family back home will be safe.
Oh, the manipulation.
And then, in this really unsettling moment, Snow hints he knows about another Cubby girl, one named after a color, who wore bright clothes and sang songs of freedom.
Lucy Gray. He's telling Haymitch he knows everything about him, his loved ones, their vulnerabilities.
Exactly. It's a terrifying display of absolute control.
And it gets worse. It's the ultimate mind game. Snow then reveals nobody actually saw Luella's accident.
What?
He introduces this brainwashed girl who looks just like Luella. Haymitch and the others later call her Lulu.
No.
And this girl is going to participate in the games, pretending to be the real Luella. Just cruel psychological torture aimed right at Haymitch.
It's beyond twisted.
And to hammer it home, Haymitch gets his training score, a 1.
Oh, one. Clear message. You're not meant to win. You're meant to suffer and die.
Exactly.
The heartbreak just doesn't stop. As they're getting ready for their interviews, Haymitch and the other District 12 tributes get taken back to Plutarch Heavensby's house.
Why?
Plutarch takes Haymitch aside to a conservatory. Says someone is calling him. It's Lenore Dove.
Whoa.
She had been arrested after seeing Haymitch's terrible score. They share this absolutely devastating goodbye call.
Oh, man.
And Plutarch, already showing his hand as a future rebel leader, whispers this powerful line. The desire for freedom is not only in the districts.
He's testing him, trying to gain his trust.
Definitely, hinting at a wider movement. And Plutarch also gives him a crucial piece of intel. The flower berms in the arena, where the mutts come and go, that's the entrance to the water tank Haymitch needs to blow up.
Okay, Plutarch is playing a long game here.
For sure, and here's a really cool little Easter egg connecting to the future.
Yeah.
District 12's stylist goes missing. They can't prepare for the interviews, but then the stylist's sister steps in, brings clothes from their family home.
Okay, who is it?
Her name, Effie Trinket.
No,
Ah.
Effie. Or Effie.
Yes. It makes you wonder, doesn't it, how much of her own journey, her understanding of the districts, maybe started right there.
Totally.
Yeah.
So after the interviews, with Snow's threats and Plutarch's cryptic hopes rattling in his head, it's time. Time for the games.
Haymitch enters the arena, and it's designed like an eyeball, always watching, always judging.
Creepy.
And because of that abysmal score of 1, he immediately dishes the newcomers' alliance. He doesn't want his low chances dragging them down. He figures his own fate is probably sealed anyway.
Makes sense, in a grim way.
And the arena itself, it's a masterpiece of capital cruelty. It's entirely poisonous. The water, the plants, everything is toxic. Survival is just this constant, suffocating battle against the environment itself.
Just relentless. And the tragedies start unfolding, like, immediately. Lulu, the brainwashed girl.
The fake Luella.
She eventually dies after smelling a bush of poisonous flowers. Just gone.
Another pawn removed.
Then Haymitch reconnects with Ampert. Together, they find their way into this sub-level where the water tank is.
Sublevel A.
Haymitch gets to work rigging the tank. But when he comes back up, Ampert's gone.
Oh, no.
He finds him being brutally eaten by mud squirrel.
What squirrel?
It's horrific, and clearly a calculated punishment aimed directly at BT, Ampert's father, forcing him to watch his son's grotesque end.
God, the capital is just, there are no depths they won't sink to.
None. The tank explodes, it floods parts of the arena, but it doesn't totally disable it.
Like the games continue.
Yeah. Haymitch, fueled by grief, by sheer determination, pushes on. He decides he has to find the main generator. BT told him it would be on the north side.
Okay, new plan.
But that area is protected by a hedge maze, and it's infested with these blood-sucking, exploding mutt ladybugs.
Exploding ladybugs, seriously.
Apparently, makes getting through incredibly hard. And what's really striking here, Maisley,
Yeah,
the mean girl.
right, from his district.
She reappears out of nowhere and saves his life from a bunch of careers using a poison dart.
Wow, an actual alliance forming there, unexpectedly.
Yeah, amidst all the horror, their desperate, unlikely journey continues. Haymitch convinces Maisley to head north with him.
Towards the generator.
And there, they run into 2 careers and some game makers.
Game makers in the arena.
Yeah. There's this desperate, bloody fight. One career dies, and Maisley actually kills the game makers.
Whoa, that's gotta have consequences.
Oh, it does. Haymitch wants to check out the maze, but Maisley senses he's worked on something secret, so she splits off just for a bit to find food.
Okay.
Haymitch reaches the edge of the arena. He finds a generator. It's way down a cliff, like 100 feet at the very edge, and there's a force field right above it.
Meaning anything thrown over just bounces back?
Exactly. He can't investigate more because he hears Maisley scream.
Oh no, the consequences.
She's being attacked by mudbirds, the brutal punishment for killing those game makers.
And she dies.
She dies. After Maisley and the other career are gone, there are only 3 tributes left.
3 left. Ooh!
Welly, who's this sweet, innocent girl from the Newcomers Alliance.
One of the kids Haymitch was trying to protect.
Yeah. Then Haymitch and Silka, the last career standing.
Okay, the final showdown is coming.
Haymitch, ever the protector, decides he's going to find Welly, take out Silka, and make Welly the victor.
Try to save at least one innocent.
He finds Welly hiding in a tree, weak, malnourished, hurt. She begs him not to leave her. He promises he'll be right back, just goes to find her some food.
And let me guess.
During that brief, agonizing moment, he's gone. Silka finds Welly and brutally decapitates her.
Oh my god, just Relentless, eliminating every single spark of innocence around him.
It feels so targeted. So the stage is set. Brutal conclusion time. Haymitch and Silka clash. She chases him into the hedge maze.
He's injured.
Badly. He gets this horrific gut wound, like his intestines are threatening to spill out. He's backed right to the very edge of the arena. Silka throws her axe at him. But Haymitch, remembering the force field, remembering how it works, he ducks.
Clever?
The axe hits the force field, bounces off, just like he gambled it would, and hits Silka right in the face.
Woo! Making Haymitch the victor.
Haymitch Abernathy, victor of the 50th Hunger Games.
Yeah.
But what a victory.
He's barely alive himself. He knows he's only got moments left, and he remembers Maiselie's token.
The one she had.
Yeah. Crucially, it contains parts for another device, something that could detonate the generator.
No way.
In a final, desperate act, like a last defiant middle finger to the Capitol, Haymitch rigs this device together, throws it at the generator.
Does it work?
He loses consciousness right after throwing it. He is the victor of the Quarter Quell, but he's seemingly dying as he does it.
Unbelievable. So Haymitch wakes up days later, alone, in that Capitol apartment he stayed in before.
Right. Wounded but alive. After days just isolated healing, they finally bring him out for his crowning. Hosted by who else? Caesar Flickerman.
Ever smarmy Caesar. It must have been just a nightmarish, hollow celebration for him.
Totally. And he's terrified for his family's fate back home, remember Snow's threat. So Haymitch performs for the cameras, does whatever he can to survive this new, equally cruel reality.
Bends
the knee, sucks up to President Snow in every way he can think of. He's paraded around like a prize pet. They literally put him in a golden cage at the victory parties.
It's a literal golden cage.
Yeah, it's just chilling. The Capitol's total control, even over its so-called victors, turning them into symbols of their own oppression.
God, but the devastation when he returns, that's almost immediate, isn't it? When he's finally allowed to go home.
Yeah.
No one's waiting at the station.
Silence. He walks those agonizing silent streets of District 12, haunted by everything he just endured, and this awful feeling something's wrong.
When he finally reaches his home,
He finds it burning, his mother and his 10-year-old brother, Sid, dead inside.
it's not just loss. It's an absolute void. How does anyone even begin to recover from that kind of targeted, systematic destruction of everything?
You don't. It's the ultimate calculated betrayal. Devastated, Haymitch desperately waits for Lenore Dove to be released by the peacekeepers.
She was still being held.
Yeah. Eventually, she is released. They reunite in those desolate meadows outside District 12.
A small glimmer of hope.
You'd think. Lenore goes to eat the gumdrops Haymitch had left for her before the games. A little gift.
Okay.
But Haymitch realizes, with dawning horror, instead of the rainbow pack he left, all the gumdrops in the pack are red.
Red, President Snow's signature color.
Exactly. He tries to stop her, shouting, but she's already eaten one. She immediately clutches her chest, collapses, and dies. Instantly.
Poisoned. Snow. It had to be Snow. That final cruel blow, making sure Haymitch lost everyone, leaving him utterly irreparably broken.
It seems like the Capitol's twisted prize for his defiance in the arena.
So what does this systematic psychological annihilation, what does it do to the Haymitch we know?
Well, having lost absolutely everyone he loved, every anchor ripped away, Haymitch descends into that life of sleep meds and booze we see later, just seeking oblivion.
Getting drunk constantly, unable to bear being sober, haunted by the games, by the ghosts of everyone he lost.
It's not just self-destruction, though. It's a desperate, almost necessary attempt to numb that relentless pain of surviving when everyone you cared about is gone.
Yeah, I can see that.
And it's at his absolute lowest point during his victory tour that Plutarch Heavensby finds him again.
Plutarch resurfaces.
Still operating in the shadows, he delivers this prophetic statement, tells Haymitch, maybe this wasn't our time, but someone is going to come along and take the Capitol down.
Wow. He's laying it out there.
He urges Haymitch to build up for her, to find an army. It's a clear, audacious nod towards District 13.
And Haymitch, broken, lost. He replies with that chilling truth. They don't want him because he has nothing left.
Yeah. But Plutarch hits back with that powerful retort, the line that really defines Haymitch's future. A man who has nothing left to lose is the most powerful man in a rebellion.
That's profound. A man with nothing left to lose. That level of desperation transforming into an unstoppable force.
Exactly. And so Haymitch bides his time. The epilogue of the story actually gives us his own POV, seeing Katniss and Peeta for the very first time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and we learn Haymitch never loved anyone else after Lenore. Like her geese, he says he mated for life, even with her ghost. He believes her soul aged with him, and she's waiting for him on the other side when his liver finally gives out.
Wow. That explains so much about his cynicism, his drinking, his wit. It's all a shield, isn't it? A coping mechanism. And ultimately, a disguise for the brilliant strategist who refused to truly break.
Precisely.
And he admits he resisted Katniss and Peeta at first, wanted to keep those walls up, stay in his self-imposed oblivion. But they eventually brought those walls down.
Just like they, together, brought down the Capitol.
What a journey. I mean, really, it completely reshapes how you see Haymitch Abernathy. He goes from just being the mentor figure
Right.
to this symbol of enduring trauma, quiet defiance, and just this almost unbearable burden of survival.
Yeah. His story is such a powerful reminder that even in the darkest places, under the most calculated oppression, those seeds of rebellion can take root, often watered by unimaginable pain and loss.
And it absolutely reinforces that for some victors, maybe for most victors, winning the Hunger Games was a sentence. It wasn't a celebration.
Not at all. Haymitch's path was just relentless, systematic loss, but it forged that cynical, brilliant strategist who ended up playing such a pivotal, often unsung role in Panem's fate.
Proving that even a broken man, maybe especially a broken man,
Can be the most dangerous kind of rebel.
this deep dive really shows you the why behind the what of the Hunger Games universe, doesn't it? It's a reminder that sometimes the greatest strength is found in having nothing left to lose.
Absolutely.
So, deep divers, until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning. Know that there's always more to learn from the stories you love. Read it or skip it.